may have been a bit chilly in Missoula, but that did not keep fans away from the Grizz game with Sacramento State. On today's show, we talk with head coach Mick Delaney, defensive tackle Trevor Rame, and we feature the quarterbacks and co-offensive coordinator Kefensi Hinson. But first, we take a look back at the highlights.
Stacked up pretty well on that first down carry.
Quickly back, here's Jordan Canada, touchdown, Montana. Motion. Saffron looking to set up the screen, intercepted. Van Ackeren with the pick, still on his feet, still going midfield. Van Ackeren looking for a block. Inside the 25 and finally hauled down near the Sacramento State 20-yard line. Second down and 4. Van again. Trayvon Van, touchdown, Montana. 17. Canada. Thought about cutting back against the grain, has a burst. Jordan Canada still on his feet. Canada still in bounds. Jordan Canada. Touchdown, Montana. And today it's Van in motion. Johnson going for the end zone, wide open. Touchdown to Mitch Saylor. Maybe a sneak from Saffron. There he goes, and into the end zone. And the touchdown for Sacramento State.
Taking a closer look at the stats, the numbers are a little misleading as the majority of offense for Sac State was put up against non-Grizzly starters. But either way, UM rushed for nearly 200 yards to Sac State's 100, but total offense, the Hornets actually had a slight edge, as they also did in time of possession. Only one turnover, but it was a big one. We're back with the head coach Mick Delaney after the break. Welcome back to the Grizzly Sports Report, now joined by head coach Mick Delaney. And Coach, we had a game at home against a very tough offensive team. Sac State goes and takes the lead early in the first quarter. After that, you guys score, go up 7-3, and really were in control the rest of the way. How happy were you with the performance, and just how complete of a game did you think you had offensively?
Well, I think, offensively, defensively, on special teams was probably our best combined effort of the season. I think our guys played really, really hard. They played fast yesterday, and we really did have control of the football game, most of it. Our guys up front on offense and defense won the line of scrimmage. Our receivers were able to get off of coverage and make some great plays. Jordy did some really nice things, made some good throws, and obviously Jordan Canada and Trayvon did a nice job of running the football. Our tight ends played well yesterday on offense. So, I think we got a lot of the consistency that we had been looking for.
And then defensively, certainly a couple sacks, but not eye-popping numbers. How important was it just to get pressure and make Saffron uncomfortable, even though the stats may not be there? What was the defense doing to get to him and kind of disrupt his flow of the offense? Well,
we did, the defense did a great job. They had a great plan, I think, and, we did get a lot of pressure on him and, so to speak, got him off his mark a lot. And had him moving around. He got free a couple times, but nothing drastic. There were a lot of times we had, a linebacker just, spying him and not dropping into coverage. That hurt us a little bit a couple times on a few hitches, and curls out there, but it's worth giving those up to keep him, where he belongs. And he's such a good football player, a fifth-year quarterback, great vision, all those things. And, to hold them to basically 6 points, 2 field goals, that is a tremendous achievement for our defense.
Offensively, Jordan Johnson had a big run, and we've seen a little bit more running from him the last couple of weeks. How much of a double-edged sword can that be, where he does have the ability to beat people with his feet, but you also don't want him to get hit when he's out on a long run like that?
Yeah, and it's pretty limited, really, but it's there, and it's something that you have to practice, I think every day during the week in preparation. So, that's been in our package for, forever, for the last 3 years, and we just, again, you've got to be a little limited on how you use it, and you always want to try to limit the amount of hits that Jordan gets during a game. And yesterday was pretty good. He had a few late ones where he completed the ball, and and play action pass, you can't hold up forever, but you've got to hang on long enough to get a guy free on a double move or whatever it may be. So he stands in there and does a great job, and then he extended a couple plays yesterday, just a typical Jordan Johnson type of game.
Jordan's coach, Kefensi Hinson, also the co-offensive coordinator up in the booth, calling a lot of the plays. We spent this week at practice with them. Just how impressive have they been this season working with a young offensive line and kind of helping be leaders from that quarterback position for the offense?
Well, tremendous. You know, Jordan is again a quiet leader, so to speak, and you know, he encourages those young guys, and you know, he was taking some pretty good hits there for a while, but you know, we're still the #1 team in the conference in sacks given up. Now, we give up some hits once in a while, but everybody does that if you go through it. And, you know, it looks like, okay, he's getting beat, but, you know, he's been hit enough that it's dangerous when he gets hit. You know, he's had a couple concussions and had the ankle thing, but I think the last 2 weeks probably he's felt as good as he's felt all year.
Fantastic. Well, for more on the quarterbacks, take a look when we mic'd up Coach Hinson at practice.
To be the quarterback here at a school with so much tradition, so many good guys before you, you know, it's an honor to be able to play here.
Okay, let's go rib, king, right, H, fine, 16, power, force, flip. Let's go gun, split right, 3 buster, X, cannon, spot. Right, slot, 19, Y, seal pass, F, rim, Z, sailor, flat. It'll be burrito right, 17, power, belly, fake, flip right on move. So that'll be just giving it to the fullback and then faking the flip behind him. I think guys that can think on the fly, athleticism, guys that got good feet in the pocket. Those two things combined, I think, make the ideal quarterback.
If you look at, you know, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, those guys, they have a great work ethic. You know, they're the first person at the facility and the last one to leave. They're watching film, and you know, they're doing everything to make sure their body's as good as it can be going into a game.
There we go. Eyes to the wheel. There's the under. Don't have that. Find the basic. Good ball, Will. You almost hit the dude with the camera, man. Come on, man. That was terrible.
He's a funny guy, you know. He's not going to yell at you, but he'll let you know when you messed up. He's a great teacher. He's just a fun guy to play for.
Don't bend now, Nate. Stay wide. That's like that makes that dude's days, and they can run over here and. Just always stay in the moment. It's never as good as it seems. It's never as bad as it seems, and just live your life that way, and you'll be all right. I want to keep you there, so all I want to do is give a vertical stick, just so he sees that. Okay, but what you don't want to do is sail that, because now you're running the route to him, right? Which we don't really want to do. If that guy works to go underneath you, then he's not going to tackle the back. Okay. So don't be in a hurry to do that. Okay. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Yeah. All right.
Coach Fent's kind of a quiet guy on the practice field, you know, but once you get in the film, he's very knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. I think, you know, this offense, he's taught me so much just about the game of football. I've probably learned more from Coach Fentz than anybody about, you know, just the intricacies of the game. He's a really smart mind, and I've been fortunate to work with him.
There we go, Brady. There we go. Good ball. Oh, you go under Mike, so he'll be the front of the wall. That makes sense. So come on, Jamal. So when it's all said and done, you guys should kind of look like that. Okay, and then you go underneath all that. We don't have. We got
sure you give me. Yeah, just make sure you give me a play.
Maybe, man. We'll see. I like the way you're in that corner route.
Welcome back to the Grizzly Sports Report, now joined by head coach Mick Delaney. And Coach, we sit here in the Hall of Fame, and certainly some incredible things that have happened at the University of Montana over the past couple of years. Another incredible thing happened over the weekend, aside from the win over Sac State, a big donation coming in to have some very needed renovations done.
Boy, it really was, and what a great thing for Grizzly athletics, for all athletics, but you know, it'll be a football locker room and an athletic weight room, and you know, the Washington family, but particularly this is Kyle and Kevin, and something that they wanted to do. They talked to the kids. I had them talk to the kids just, you know, 3 or 4 minutes right before we went out on the field, and it was dynamic. You know, they were just so appreciative of how hard the guys have worked, and you know, basically said what crappy facilities we have downstairs, and you know, with the locker room, weight room, which we do. That's no secret, and how, you know, how happy they were that they could do something to remedy that situation. So, you know, it's just a tremendous thing for Grizzly athletics. I think, you know, that's the next step probably in staying as a prominent FCS school.
Certainly, and then if we go back to the on-the-field stuff, Kendrick Van Ackeren, a guy who had an awkward tackle, came up a little loopy against Cal Poly, comes back after clearing all the concussion protocol and has a really good game, 9 tackles and interception. What does he mean to that defense? Boy, he's a football player, so to speak. He's not the fastest guy in the world, not that he's slow, but he's not big enough probably to be a backer. He always wanted to be a safety. We talked about that, I think, when we had him on, but he just has such a nose for the football. He prepares so hard. He knows what he's doing. He knows by formation, motion, whatever, just because of his tremendous preparation, where they think and he thinks the football is going. And when he knows that, then he has that knack of being able to get there and make the play. Going forward, you have an Eastern Washington team that had great games against, especially at Eastern's field. Came down to an onside kick, essentially, that got them the win a couple years ago. What kind of a rival have they become? And I know early when Vernon Adams went down this season, you said, if you don't think he's going to be ready by the Grizz game, you're crazy. And we'll find out on Saturday, I guess. But with or without Vernon, how dangerous of a team are they? Oh, they're a great offensive football team, whether they're with him or without him, because of the dynamics of their receiver. And Forte is averaging about 5.5, 6 yards a carry. 200-yard game 2 weeks ago, I think 180 or 90 yesterday. So they're a good offensive football team. Not that they're not on defense, but they're dynamic on offense. And we have a real challenge. Coach Baldwin has done a great job. They've played with the backup quarterback, and he's been very efficient. I would bet my life that Vernon will be ready to go this weekend. However, Coach Baldwin's like the rest of us. He's not going to put him in jeopardy either. If he's ready, he'll play, and if he's not, it may be another week. But I know at the beginning that was kind of a 4 to 5 week thing, or 4 to 6 weeks, and we're right at about 4, I think, going on 5 this week. So, whether he does or doesn't, we got to go prepare ourselves as hard as we can this week to go play a really good football team and not let that be a distraction. Is he or isn't he? They're going to do what they do, and that is run the ball and throw to Kopp and their receivers. Fantastic. Coach, thank you as always. We appreciate your time with us. Certainly. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Grizzly Sports Report, now joined by Trevor Rame. And Trevor, will start with the defense as a whole. Why was it important for you guys to come out against Sac State and have one of the better performances in the last month or so?
As we spoke about in the past, that we were kind of looking at being the best team in the conference. And I mean, that's really something we set out to be. And in the last couple of weeks, we've struggled in a ton of categories and really kind of lost that edge that we had, the first 6 games of the season. So, I mean, we really wanted to set out, make a statement, neutralize the run, and then get after the quarterback, playing great offense, averaging a lot of points and yards. And, I mean, that's something we did. It brought us back to where we were. And, I mean, still striving forward. There's still things we need to improve on. I think we really only had 1 interception, maybe turnover-wise, 4th down stop. But still a lot of improvement to be done, but, I mean, headed in the right direction.
And if you look back at those 2 games you mentioned where you didn't have that conference-leading type of defensive play, what happened against UC Davis and against Cal Poly that you think you corrected or need to continue to correct going forward?
I think the biggest part was just kind of execution-wise. Our defense usually comes out and gives, great effort and really everything we want, but just kind of focus down on technique, the little things. I mean, Cal Poly was a different kind of team we played. But still, I mean, same thing. We have to be disciplined and execute like we did in the past and really just go out and make plays and have fun.
And a lot of intensity throughout the field, a lot of big hits yesterday. How much does that sort of stuff ramp itself up and get you energized throughout the game when you see teammates flying around making big hits? And how does it become kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy once you guys come out there and play that hard?
Yeah, I mean, that creates momentum and everything. And really, when you're going out and making plays and seeing, your buddies on the field doing it, it's just a ton of fun. You get to do it in a great atmosphere here at Missoula. And I mean, when you're having fun and just get to do those things those are the things we look forward to. That's why we practice. That's why we work hard throughout the season. And when those things happen, I mean, it really brings kind of our composure and everything together to have fun and make more plays. I mean, that's what we want to do.
And then you touched on playing in that great atmosphere, undefeated at home thus far in the season. How much pride do you guys take in winning those games at home and making sure that Washington Grizzly is such a tough place to play for opponents?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously as expected. I mean, high expectations of us, which make us kind of, as Coach D talked about yesterday, is when they put out high expectations, then we kind of try and, reach those. It makes us kind of reach our highest potential. And like we said, there's a ton of pride in that. This is our home. This is the place we really want to show that, you're not going to come here and beat us. So, yeah, there's a lot of pride in it.
On the flip side of that, the road has not necessarily been kind to you guys this season. Certainly some very tough teams you've played on the road. But what needs to change going forward with some important road games to where you guys come out and maybe a little bit stronger from the get-go than you have against some of those teams that you've gotten losses, and even North Dakota, which ended up being a win?
Like I mentioned earlier, I just think it's preparation and then kind of executing that. I mean, we'll have our game plan. What we do on the road, I mean, it doesn't really change our mentality at all. They're always business trips. I mean, we're set out to win the game, and that's our #1 priority. So same thing. I mean, I think just keep putting in the effort, keep preparing, and just every day kind of try and take that step to get just a little bit better.
With you guys as a defensive line group, it seems like you're one of the closer groups on the team, and you've been playing together for quite a while. How would you describe the relationship of the defensive linemen this year?
Oh, yeah. The defensive line, I mean, we are really close. I mean, it's an interesting group of guys, just really characters, and we get along really well. We have a lot of fun, and I mean, with Coach Lange, I feel like, I've never seen a defensive line that plays with the technique we do. I mean, we understand what he's drilled and what he's taught us, and it makes it easy. And then you, kind of excluding myself, put in some extremely good athletes that can make great plays. I mean, on the same page, it makes a lot of fun,
Certainly, and then a team that you guys have had some great games with over the past and have always been at the top of the conference standings the last couple of years, Eastern Washington. Get to see them this weekend. Just how good of a program is Eastern Washington?
A great program. I mean, they've always come out to play. I mean, tough, like you said, tough games. Some came down to the wire. I mean, we lost one on an onside 2 years ago that hurt. But I mean, like always, their offense is running, and they've shown it with the numbers they put up. I mean, we haven't got into a lot of film with them or anything yet, but we'll look to definitely neutralize their run and get after their quarterback. I'm not sure totally what the quarterback situation is, but I'm sure we'll expect to play a mobile quarterback again.
And in either way, certainly the Montana State rivalry is the big one. But throughout the years, it seems like Eastern Washington is becoming more and more of a rival. So how would you say they've become one of the biggest rivals on the
It just through that competitive nature. I mean, they've become a great team, great program. And when you're always competing like that, it creates a whole rivalry. And I mean, I think a ton of teams in our conference are like that. It's become a really competitive conference, and I mean, it makes it fun and it makes it fulfilling to always play great teams.
Certainly, and then lastly, you touched on a little bit, not quite sure what the quarterback situation will be. Vernon Adams has been out for a while. Let's say he is in the game. What kind of a quarterback is he, and what have you seen over the last several seasons?
I mean, he's a great athlete, and he can throw. I mean, similar to the one we faced last week. I mean, preparing for a mobile quarterback, makes it tough sometimes because just kind of different faucet to the game. But I mean, we've done it in the past. We'll prepare for it, and then we'll try and do our best.
Fantastic, Trevor. Thank you so much.
Sounds
We
good.
appreciate
Thanks
your
for
time.
having me out.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
We'll be back after this.
I'm Sean Rainey, and it's time for your Fall Sports Update. It's that time of year. Grizz basketball is starting up, and last week the teams held their annual Maroon and Silver scrimmage.
A scrimmage like our Maroon Silver is a good thing. You get some people there. It's kind of a game type feeling. It's fun for the kids.
The Lady Grizz barely had enough healthy bodies for the scrimmage, as assistant coach Sonia Rogers had to fill in as a player, but it still was a success. Kelly Cole-Rubel led all scorers with 17 points. Meanwhile, the men had quite a few new faces, both as players and, of course, the coaching debut, if you will, of Travis DeCure. The team absolutely lit it up from beyond the arc, shooting a ridiculous 78% from 3 in the second half. Brandon G. Feller led all scorers with 20, 18 of those coming from 3 balls. And DeCure says it was a successful scrimmage, and the main goal now is getting everyone on the same page.
Right now, I'm leaning a little more towards chemistry and starting to get a little more accustomed to what a game type situation might feel like.
The Grizz soccer team already knew they were going to host the conference tournament going into their final game against Eastern Washington, but that didn't slow them down from getting the 1-0 win. They completed an undefeated conference season, and they are thrilled to be playing in front of a home crowd for the tournament this week.
Oh, it means so much. It's a great reward for our team, and not just, our team and like the success we've had. It's just even just for our community and just show like what Grizz soccer has been throughout this season.
And lastly, the Grizz volleyball team hosted Eastern Washington on Friday. They dropped the first set, but came back to win 3-1. They then lost to Idaho in 3 sets and now sit at 6-6 in conference play. I'm Sean Rainey, and that's your Fall Sports Update.
Thank you, Sean. Plenty of other Grizzly sports going on this week. The volleyball team hits the road after a successful homestand, taking on Northern Colorado and North Dakota. The soccer team hosts the Big Sky Conference tournament with hopes of being regular and postseason champs. And after their game against Whitworth on Monday night, the Grizz men don't play until the 15th of November. However, the Lady Grizz play Tuesday versus Great Falls and again Friday versus Minot State. We're almost done tonight, but first, Zach Peavy answers questions in our 2-minute drill.
Favorite color and why?
Maroon, baby.
And
No reason.
And favorite cartoon growing up?
Tom and Jerry.
How about the best part of living in Missoula and growing up in Missoula, Montana?
Best part of living in Missoula? Grizz.
If you're cooking to impress somebody, what's on the menu? What are you going to make?
Spaghetti, French bread, the traditional, Italian dish.
Perfect. How about who do you look up to in the coaching world that's not associated with the Grizzlies?
Jeff Hayes, Hellgate High School, baby. Yeah.
How about your favorite movie you've ever seen?
Space Jam.
And if there's something that people don't know about you, maybe hidden talent, what is something that most people would not know?
Most people don't know about me. I can unicycle.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Maybe not now, though.
Yeah.
Been a minute.
But any movie character, if you're going to marry,
Any movie
who's it
character?
gonna be?
Blank. I'm going to marry Lola Bunny.